Where are you going?
She's done it again. The telly's on the blink. I'm off round to our jeans.
What about my tea?
What about your tea? Look at it. It's her. You know what time it is, don't you? I'm just about up to here with it. Every night it's the flaming same. You come home wanting your tea, she's sitting there messing with the television set. I want to sit down and relax round about this time. Can I? You don't know what it's like alone with her all day.
Are you enjoying this, Ma?
It's all I can get on. It's the same on every side.
She just sits staring at the screen. I've told her it's broke. She just sits there watching all the fuzz. You should never have given her that remote control. She squeezes it too tight. That's why the television keeps breaking down.
That should be plugged in somewhere.
She does it on purpose. She does it to upset me. She enjoys it.
You're paranoid.
I am not paranoid. I'm sick and tired of you trying to make a mess out of me all the flaming time.
Look.
You see?
Are they here?
Lord, no, he's not here.
Pity. Stupid girls run off with him.
It's no good. It's black and white. 58 quid for a flaming colour TV licence. They put on black and white programmes. It's disgusting. The telly's going back tomorrow. Then we'll see what she makes of that.
Broke off with that fella. What's his name?
Jake Seeger, yes, we broke up.
So you finally hit the big time.
Well, I wouldn't say that. But the old bank balance is looking a bit healthier every minute.
Kevin, I'm busy.
Yes, will you just keep the money rolling and make it good and lend me a quid, could you? Right.
Don't know what to say.
But let me say it for you. How do you feel about you and Meg buying me out?
Look, will you stop pestering me?
Oh, that's funny. It used to be the other way round.
What's up with you, Mr. McPhee?
Oh, just taking a wee turn round the kitchen.
Well, I wish you wouldn't. You make me feel nervous.
What's that supposed to be? Goulash Budapest.
Looks more like shepherd's pie Balsall Heath to me.
Home truths and dirty washing in public.
Nothing's ever simple, is it? Just plain normal and simple. There's always got to be something.
All right. All right.
I'm paralyzed. It's too early to say that, definitely.
People are always saying life must go on. I'm asking why.
Oh, my God! The motel! It's on fire! Mom! Ah!
Soap opera goes back a long way. I'm sure critics from time immemorial, back to Dickens, have criticised the serial, which has now assumed the title of soap due to the involvement of Procter and Gamble back in the early days, back in America in the 30s. Soap opera will always be criticised at various levels. It's the rate at which we are asked to produce it, the frequency with which it is shown, and the sheer volume precludes excellence as one may wish for, say, in a single play or a film. But soap opera has its own standard of excellence, and that is the way it engages everyday people in the lives of everyday people on the screen. It must have been a very successful format, otherwise it wouldn't still be on air.
Benny? What have you done?
You cheeky little things. I thought you looked lovely on the news.
Yeah, I'll just put double whipped cream on me.
And then the second 2 weeks, I really started beginning to enjoy myself.
Well, I'm supposed to be on a diet.
Of course, I remember the good old days, you know, when Crossroads had a kitchen. And, of course, it was great timing because just before the kitchen disappeared, the chef did. Whatever happened to Stewie McPhee?
No show without puns. The only prop Liz Turner's had nothing to do with.
What's the matter? Have you got a smudge on my face?
No, lassie, you have a fine wee face with never a blemish.
She's passed then. Is it my turn for inspection now?
In your case, it will not be necessary.
You have seen me before.
Only with the eyes of a colleague, never with the eyes of a man. Now I can see you for what you are, a
very pretty wee girl.
Follow that. Only Jack Haig could do it.
21 today. 21 today.
And you thought you were here tonight.
So was you expecting us at all?
No.
That's good.
I thought we might have had the roly-poly. Now, it's very easy. This is preparing for a Benny. Now, makeup, top of the door. Well, Benny is childlike. There's lots of them about. I love playing the part. See, to me, acting is about different emotions. Benny, you can take every emotion to the extreme.
Hello, I like you.
He asks things why, and sometimes he says some very interesting things. And it's a lovely character to play. I love it. I wouldn't have lasted this long if it hadn't been for Benny. When Benny was about to marry Maureen, and she died on the back of a bike, it was a lovely story, and I think it got into a lot of people's hearts. I think everybody wanted Benny to get married, but I don't think he ever should.
They don't think you're suffering, that's the Oh!
This is the Crossroads 21st anniversary celebration. I have a telegram here. Unfortunately, due to commitments, we are unable to be with you all at this 21st anniversary celebration of Crossroads. We are so delighted at its continued success and long may it continue. With all good wishes, Lou and Kathleen Gray. Thank you very much.
Of course, we have our critics. One lady in the National once called us amateurs. Well, if amateur is used in its proper sense, which means for the love of, then we are very proud to be amateurs. Despite rumors that we would never open, and when we did that we could never survive, we've done so. And we must be the only catering establishment in the world which entertains 16 million guests a night.
Jane, the candles.
Oh, the candles, here we go.
The show has been possibly called, at very worst, amateurish, and possibly, at its very best, socially relevant, because Crossroads has attempted to deal with social issues.
We've tried to do a lot of social work for handicapped people. But apart from that, I think just in our everyday lives and the fun we have, I think they like to think there really is a Crossroads motel.
Most people are surprised to find I'm real, you know. No, most people are surprised to find I can walk.
One of the storylines that I found most difficult, but most rewarding in the end, was when I was supposed to be hooked on Valium. And I got a terrific response.
You know Jill, she had that baby.
Yeah.
You know it wasn't Stanley's.
Yeah.
Because at one time they thought it were mine.
Oh, no.
You see, they did find this little woolly hat underneath the bed. But I tell them I never take my hat off.
It's Anthony.
Eh?
It's Anthony Mortimer. And sometime in July, I'm going to be having his baby, so that's one thing 1978 will bring for certain.
You and Anthony?
Well, who was it who said we should kiss and make up? Just went a bit far, that's all.
You are good for me. Keep talking.
May I have the pleasure of the first dance?
I thought you'd never ask.
Goodbye.
Don't let her go. It would be tragic if she left the show like a door without a key. That's the way Crossroads would be.
I do really believe that Crossroads won't be the same without Noel Gordon. I watch it, I enjoy it as it is. 13 or 14 million other people enjoy it as it is, and I just can't see why they want to mess around with it.
As my agent was told, all good things come to an end. And indeed they do. Actors are used to being sacked. Actors are used to shows folding. But please don't ask me
any more questions about policy or the reasons, I don't know the reasons for my dismissal, you must ask Katie.
Goodbye. I'll try to pretend. It's just the beginning. It's not the end. So how can I be strong? Can life continue? Though the magic is gone.
I was very sad when she went, very sad, because it was obviously such a shock to her. The programme was very much her life, and that's awful when things like that happen.
There never has, I don't think, been a star of Crossroads, although Nolly was Crossroads.
No, sorry, not in here. No, this is absolutely private and confidential.
Have you given us any clue as to...
No, sorry, not at all. Would you mind leaving?
Crossroads will continue, though, will it?
It will continue, yes.
There have been
Now, do you know now what the final ending's going to be?
No, because I'm having a lot of fun with the press. I mean, whatever conclusions they come to, let them print them and I'll have another one.
on my love alone. We can't carry on.
I mean, what you have to remember is, and I think the public governed by the media in this respect, is that people in this game do not get sacked. A contract comes to an end. I mean, Nolly was probably one of the only people ever in this business that I know of that was a staff. She was on staff. And she came to the end of her staff contract in a way, the same as people retire or whatever. But Nolly, because of being an actress, she wanted to carry on. But her contract came to an end, and the same with a lot of people who've been in the show.
Philip Bowman, we can't blame you for the loss of Noel Gordon from Crossroads, because that was in 1981. Right. But had you made any plans to bring her back?
I had, yes. I actually met with Noel in November of last year.
So if she hadn't died, she might have been back in Crossroads.
Indeed, she would have been recording up to just the period before Easter. The scripts were written.
Why did you play Hatchet Man?
I don't like the term Hatchet Man for a start. I was asked to come and produce Crossroads. I had a look at the programme. I had never really seen Crossroads before. So I took the scripts away, I looked at the programme, and I thought why the show needed changing. And the changes that were made were a result of these thoughts.
It isn't you, it's the viewer who matters.
But of course.
That's what I'm trying to get through to you.
Right.
I don't like the familiar characters being pushed out just like that. I mean,
what about the exciting new characters that I'm introducing, though? And you'll grow to love those characters.
Well, for one person you are inviting is Miss Drake. She's a splendid actress, I know. She's far too sophisticated for this programme.
Naturally, there was an outcry from the public. People don't like change in any shape or form. I think this applies to soap opera, cherished soap opera characters. It was a very difficult time for me, both professionally and personally, because the decisions were not personal decisions, they were purely professional decisions. But one can't help having personal, private feelings about the people involved. And the audience, by and large, seemed to reinforce my feelings about the changes.
How do you think it's changed since the old crew left and Noel Gordon and Ronnie Allen and people left? Do you think it's very different now?
I think it's improved. It was time for him to go, definitely. Yeah, he'd run his spell out, definitely, yeah.
Apparently there's somebody else going soon.
I think the first 80 episodes, I was in something like 75 of them. And after 80 episodes, I was sort of shaking.
She's still learning them.
Oh, I'm a bit quicker at it now. But we don't have so much to learn, really, now, do we? It's a bit easier.
Not really.
It's all got a lot easier, thank goodness.
Anyone that's au fait with television, drama production, film production, everyone's seen bloopers, you know, the outtakes. Everyone does it. Unfortunately, in the old format, Crossroads went to air warts and all. We are now afforded the luxury of editing, and therefore I hope that the performances on the whole are of a high standard.
Here he is. Here he comes.
Real wing deer. Didn't get rid of the registration. Sorry.
Keep rolling, keep rolling.
The cast members that have been in the show for 20 years, for example, like Jane Rossington playing the character of Jill, I'm sure that she's pleased to have the opportunity to go yet again for a take if it wasn't quite right first time.
Okay, stop, please. Just hit him. Okay, after they've... okay, yeah, try it. Okay, Stan.
My cat at the theatre, Sid.
Well, this is a splendid effort, and quite appropriate for 21 years. Yeah.
Well, I was asked whether I would be prepared to do it.
To work, whether you'd drop to that.
But I dropped to that, and I said, anything to help British television.
As long as it's for art.
As long as it's for art.
And the director is tasteful.
That's right, yes, I said
I've never thought of my characters replacing Meg Richardson. Much more to the point, I think, is that the character of Nicola Freeman carries Crossroads forward into the 80s.
In 5.
It's not to be sneezed at being seen by 30 million people every week. And it was a real challenge. It was something that I thought one really could improve the quality of one's own work by constantly having to do new work, by constantly having to try and explore different emotions, and by having to do them quickly.
Tony, can you be aware of shadowing?
Oh, I'm working at that. Crossroads has changed. I first came into Crossroads in 1968 as an estate agent, and I sold Kitty a house. Then I came back in 1978 as an accountant to sort out Mrs. Mortimer's husband's affairs, which had all gone wrong. And we've just recently, at the beginning of this year, Philip Berman, our producer, has come in with completely new ideas.
In something like Coronation Street, you have a fairly fixed set of characters for a fairly long period of time. Whereas the institution that is Crossroads, you have the very nature of a hotel or a motel, is that you have people simply passing through. So we also had the possibility of the real chance to introduce new characters. So I think that's probably partially the reason for its longevity.
I think Crossroads is popular for a great many reasons, but basically because of the time that it goes out. It's generally when people are waiting to cook their supper. And an awful lot of people see it, they don't watch it, and that I think is the slight subtle difference. I'm always recognized by the fellas, very rarely by the ladies. And a guy will be walking down the street with his wife and say, "Excuse me, aren't you Adam Chance?" And I will say, "Yes." And he'll say, "Well, I never watch it." But he actually sits down and has his supper and sees the show and knows all the characters. So a great many people suffer Crossroads, I think, in a funny way. I think the male population suffer Crossroads because they're waiting for their tea.
Dad, I mean, not after George's death.
But you'd both get on a lot better if you didn't live together. A bit of breathing space. I mean, you'll never be able to leave him alone there. He's still...
I took them groceries over to Mrs. Dodsworth, but she were out.
I think the big thing is, under the old system, we didn't get out as much, so we could plan certain times off in the week better. But now you've literally got to say Monday till Friday. You can't do anything.
Yeah. And then any spare time you suddenly get, you suddenly find that they've done your scene and you say, well, what shall I do now? Go home. Oh, great. Off you go. But you never know. You can't plan a dentist or anything like that.
No. You have
It's
to
much
ask if
easier.
you want to be pregnant and things, don't
Oh,
you?
yes, oh, yes. But it's easier, I think. The pressure's off.
I must disagree. I think the pressure is still there because although you're hanging around, once you get in that studio, time
yes,
is money.
yes.
And so we say, come on, let's
Yeah.
get it in the can. I mean, the big thing about it is that you can't compare us to any other soap. I mean, we do 2 hours television in 5 days. Nobody else does that.
If you can just
And it's a
take
hell of a lot
gently
of
off
television.
her hands so that you turn her face so you can see her eyes, right? But she won't look at you. Just try that little bit again.
Anne-Marie, what's wrong?
I can't tell you. I've done something awful.
You, what could you do that's so bad? Ah, come on, tell me.
I want to, but I can't.
Yes, you can. You can tell me anything.
think we missed the line there, actually.
She also banged her nose.
Anne-Marie and Roy, I mean, they seem to be a focal point of the young people.
We know that. I know that. I haven't got the money to build a set. That's the reason we haven't got it. I would have had a set 3. It's no good changing a show just technically. You must also address yourself to the very essence of drama, which is script and acting. And so they're the areas that I hope we've made some great leaps forward. It's just, this year, because we've had a massive, huge, wonderful set built, of course it took a great deal of the budget, the set building budget. In fact, I've already bought into next year's budget already.
Yes, sir.
Feel the beat of the rhythm of the night, dance until the morning light. Forget about the worries on your mind. You can leave them all behind.
Sue, you've been a fan of Crossroads for how long now?
About 16 years.
I know you're a great personal friend of Molly's as well as a fan. Because we were talking about her earlier and saying that you wish she could have been here tonight, and I almost feel that she is.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. We've all been thinking about her. Isn't it sad that Noel couldn't be with us for the 21st anniversary celebrations?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's her mother's, so this must be Noel's.
Oh, found it soon.
Yeah, at last.
At last. Oh, Sam. Stay like that and I'll take a couple of snaps.
Yes, definitely.
And have you had a nice time, Sue, tonight?
And you say especially like the new young cast, yeah?
That's compliment.
You like Gabrielle?
Pardon?
You like Gabrielle as Nicola Freeland?
Yes. Not when she very first came.
Oh, you weren't supposed to when she very first came. Well, that was the idea. Would we be making a run for our own back by committing ourselves to OB, or vice versa, by building a set? Would we... The future of Crossroads, I see, as a very positive future. It's got 21 years of a healthy audience following behind it. I hope that the new show is keeping the audience that we've had and indeed winning a new, younger audience whilst maintaining our regular viewers.
White wine properly and uncork that red now, will you? Give it a chance to breathe a bit.
Is that for the outfit that I made? Crossroads started in the 60s and we're now in the 80s. And it must move on, it must move forward, and it must keep modern. Otherwise, it would die.
I think Crossroads will go on. It's a popular show. It's loved by the public. It's hated by the public. It's the show that people love to hate. But hopefully we'll all still be here.
No, only documentaries. This looks all right.
Oh, it's only black and white.
Let's go down the Robin Hood.
Yeah, I'll go and get my coat.
I mean, we do 2 hours television in 5 days. Nobody else does that. I mean, like this documentary, they've spent about 6 weeks on it, haven't they? It's only for half an hour.
Absolutely.